Be the Talk, episode 326, featuring Kate Strong. Welcome to Be the Talk. We go behind the talk 7 days a week for tips and techniques to help you change the world. I'm Nathan Eckel, and a talker myself, I'm interviewing others who change the world with their talk. You can too, even if you've never given a talk before. Let's get started with today's show. We are live with Kate Strong. Kate, are you ready to talk?
I sure am. Bring it on.
Kate Strong is on a mission to transform the business landscape into profitable and purpose-driven enterprises. Kate coaches entrepreneurs based on her personal success as World Champion Triathlete, Aerospace Engineer, Reiki practitioner, and Philantropist. Kate Strong, welcome to the talk.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Your talk is called Online Communities. Can they help create an Ironman? Which is a great rhetorical question. You leaned on your online community. They helped you hack off all kinds of additional time that you didn't have in your day. I love my favorite part of your talk. You had a big pie chart with all of your minutes and all of the sleeping you had to do, the training, the eating, the endorsement work, and they helped you hack off little pieces and bits of time. Every second counts and every day to have that kind of focus. Kate, please take us behind the talk.
Yeah, it was actually my second TEDx talk. I'd done one about how to have it all, how to create a winning life. And it was the follow-on question to say, well, what are you doing in your life that you're actually challenging the status quo? And that's when I decided to take up triathlon and see how far I could go. So I believe in not having a limit in myself or in anything, really, and seeing what's possible. And having a full-time job, running my own company, it was just impossible in my mindset to challenge that to become an Ironman. And so I thought I needed help and reach out. Living in a remote village, that's all I had. So that's what I did.
Well, hey, it might have been a remote village, but you still had the online community. You still have enough bandwidth to be able to make it happen. So good on you.
Thank you so much. Definitely.
So now this is your second talk. So did I hear that correctly, or am I filling in the blanks a little bit? You decided to do an Ironman after your first talk?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So we need to unpack that a little bit because that's pretty tremendous there. I mean, most people that's like, oh, I did my TEDx talk. That's my bucket list item. All good. But, for Kate, time to be an Ironman.
Definitely. I was actually afraid of speaking, and I was invited to do a TEDx talk about my positive mindset through getting me through some challenges in my personal life. And I decided to have a year of yes, which was if anyone saw something in me, who was I to say no to the potential you see in myself? So someone said, you should do a TED talk. And even though my gut and all parts of me wanted to scream a big no, I said yes. And there I was. I found myself on the stage.
Kate, what was your filter in the year of yes? Because it's like, hey, give me $1 million. You didn't say yes to that, and even give a TED talk or become an Ironman. These are not things that these are not weekend projects. So that's a little bit of a gotcha question, but what was your filter? Did it have to do with maybe overcoming fear or something like that? Personal betterment? What was your filter?
There were 2 or 3 tests. One is the granny test. Would I be able to tell my grandmother over dinner about it? And the other one was, is it positively impacting somebody and leaving me feeling a better or, a better person, I suppose. So those are the 2 main tests. Yeah. Okay.
Love it. What's your advice to all the rest of us that are absolutely terrified and we have this horrible voice of doubt in our head? We don't want to change and we're set in our ways.
We could take it off a famous advert and say, just do it, but break it down to a scalable level that is pushing us, but not freaking us out and causing panic. So now, find something that challenges us.
Talk about that zone, because I think that's really helpful to all of us. I mean, we have the complete crazy fear, jump off a building with a tether, which that doesn't really baby step, but where's that zone of helpful discomfort? How would you describe that?
I think you just described it quite aptly. It's when we feel it's like when you take on a new job or you create a new habit. For the first few weeks, it's actually quite awkward, and it's in our conscience that we have to remember to do it, or the butterflies still come up in our stomachs. But once it becomes habitual and it's second nature, then I would start questioning what else could I add onto it. Could I get up a little bit earlier? Could I run that extra mile, or could I talk in front of 15 people instead of 5, or how can we proactively start working that muscle to grow?
Talk Universe, I hope you're hearing Kate's process with me, which is just really cool. So Kate has a way of identifying where she's at right now, and then just where's the baby step? Where's the little incremental? Can we go from 10 people that I'm comfortable with to 15 people? And I just love that, listening to your thought process, that you're able to understand accurately where you are right now, bump it up just a little bit, and grow and be positive and have all that energy. What's it like? My next question. What's it like? You own your company. It's an aerospace company. So this is not, doesn't sound like a hobby type, lifestyle business, that some of us have. Cough, 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 podcasting from your spare room. So, how do you go from that and then add on the Ironman? Just, obviously that's what the talk is all about, how you did that. But I mean, why did you do it? And how did you just kind of justify the scale and the scope of that in your head before you even took steps, practical steps that way?
It was one morning, an average Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning. And I just had this epiphany when I realized today is the youngest I'll ever be in my life. So I have no more excuses. If I don't do it now, I'm only going to get older. And I just looked at this bucket list, or the one day, someday list, and realized that triathlon was right on that top of the list, that I've been procrastinating and waiting for a better moment, when you're less busy or richer or, healthier or whatever we want to add on to that. And that's when I said, right, what's the biggest distance? And for me, it was Ironman. What's my potential? I hadn't got a clue. So why not aim for number 1? Sounds slightly extreme, but kind of works.
Hey, it sounds great. We're talking with Kate Strong right now. Her second talk is called Online Communities. Can they help create an Ironman? And they certainly can. We're going to talk more with Kate Strong in just a moment in the Blitz Round. Hey, Talk Universe. I hope you've been enjoying today's episode with today's guest. But you know what? Many people want more than that. Many people that listen to Be the Talk actually want to give a talk. And if that's you, you're not alone. Listen to the rest of this podcast. At the end, I'll have a free resource for you just for listening. And it's time for the Blitz Round with Kate Strong. I'm going to ask her a series of either or questions related to the preparation and performance of her recent talk. Kate, are you ready?
I sure am.
All right. First question. Were you invited to speak or did you apply?
I was invited to speak.
All right. So same question you heard me ask a previous guest. What's your advice to other really busy CEOs, executives, self-made people often who are invited to speak? They know they could just, do their normal talk with a little bit of a tweak and get by, but that's not what you did. What's your advice to really doing a great TEDx talk?
I would really connect with the people who are organizing it and ask them what they want to leave their audience feeling and deliver bespoke. So I split my talk into sort of 3-minute segments. So it didn't matter which segment came in order. I could read from the audience and give them what they felt in that moment.
Oh, neat. So you made it a little bit custom that way. You made it so that it didn't matter which path you took. All roads led back to Rome, so to speak.
Yeah. And also, at that time, it was the second public speaking I'd ever done. And I was absolutely petrified, and the fear of forgetting my words was overriding me. So I had to make sure, even if I forgot, I'd pick something up. My brain wasn't just left empty, and I was staring at the headlamps like a little deer.
Well, actually a brilliant device, because you could choose any path and it helped your mind keep track of it. So that was a great technique. In addition to that, what's another tip, tool, technique that helped you?
When looking out in live audiences, we do meet a lot of empty faces, and I sometimes can make a big story that I'm boring, they're not listening, they're disconnected. So before I go on stage, I do ask at least the front row to smile, and just to remember that they're interested. So instead of putting on their bored face, I make it they're really intent in listening in what I'm saying face, so I don't get overly complicated in my own head and talk myself out of carrying on.
You know, that's a first. None of my guests have ever brought that up, but that is absolutely true. Any public speaker will tell you, you know, it's like we all shut off when we're in the audience. I think we all go into either our own trance or hopefully the speaker's we go into kind of a state where we're just passively listening, or we're disengaged and thinking about something else. And you can't really tell which is actually, you can tell when, you know, it's kind of a high point of a talk and people are with you and laughing and engaged. But other than that, when you're actually delivering kind of the in-between times, it can be really, really tough. So I love that you brought that up. You know, were you an opener? Were you a closer or in between?
I was an opener. I was the first one.
What's your advice for the openers out there?
Just smile, be yourself. It sounds very cliche and obvious, but just enjoy the moment. As we say, all we have is now. So this is maybe the only opportunity I'll have to connect to those people. And I made sure that I left them in a way of reconnecting thereafter. So I created my own blog specifically for that TED Talk in order for people to continue on the journey, because whether we know it or not, they are inspired by what we share. And it's great for them to carry that on.
You know, I always think back to, you know, violin. I never played the violin, but more for me, if you didn't play violin recitals, it was piano recitals. And it's like you didn't want to be the last person. You wanted to be the first person, get it over with. And then one time I was the first person, and that was almost the worst for me, because it was like I had to sit there and be completely bored with everyone else. Now, for a TED Talk, it's a whole lot better than that. Hopefully you're not bored. But did you find that you had to work to stay engaged the rest of the day, or did you find it was easy because you had already gone and you could just enjoy and appreciate the show like everyone else?
Well, I could be that smiler in the audience. So I made sure that I listened to everyone, and I was like giving them the thumbs up and making sure that they knew that they were doing a good job. But I also cheekily brought my bicycle. So in the breaks, I also went out and did some training.
Oh, wow. That's great. Well, hey, you can be the change you wish to see in the world by smiling at everyone else. Here's the cut for time question, Kate. What was the most painful part of your talk that you had to cut out?
I wrote it specifically for that, and I had no idea what to share. So for me, it was actually knowing how to write it. So I was being too honest and telling people how nervous I was, and that had to go. So it was actually putting on a brave face and getting the job done that was the toughest bit for me.
Well done. That's a great part to cut out. Because frankly, when we're in the audience, when we paid $50 or $100 or whatever it was to go to a TED Talk, we don't want to hear it. It's like, you know, not everybody is a professional speaker, but there's a professional caliber that comes out of everyone. And that's not a good thing to have in the talk. So good on you for cutting that out. We've been enjoying this talk with Kate Strong. Her talk is called Online Communities. Can they help create an Iron Woman? You can go to our show notes page at BeTheTalk.com. We'll have a link to that talk, as well as you can go to katestrong.co, her website, katestrong.co, and check out everything that Kate is doing in that space. So we're going to be right back in just a moment with the final word of advice from Kate Strong. Hey, Talk Universe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you want to give the talk to change the world, but you don't know how or even where to start, no problem at all. Go to BeTheTalk.com/get accepted for my new 5-day email course that'll show you how. Absolutely free. Just go to BeTheTalk.com/get accepted. And we're back. It's time for the final word of advice from Kate Strong. What is it, Kate?
Make sure you're yourself, own it, and step into your power, and never, never, never put a glass ceiling on your potential.
Kate Strong, thanks so much for coming on the talk today and sharing your wisdom with Talk Universe.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Be the Talk. For tips and resources to help you change the world, go to BeTheTalk.com. See you tomorrow.